last time, we figured out how to understand what a business actually does. Today, we're taking that next crucial step. We're going to learn how to see its financial strength. We'll be looking at the numbers that really matter. So let's get right into it. This right here is the big question, isn't it? Now that you know what a company does, you have to ask, can it survive a rainy day? Can it handle a storm if one comes along? That's what we're here to figure out today.
Now you might be thinking, hey, why haven't we talked about any numbers yet? And honestly, that was completely on purpose, because numbers without any real context, well, they can confuse you more than they help. But now that we have that foundation, we're ready. And don't worry, we're going to take this nice and slow, keep it calm, and make it super practical.
To make this super easy to understand, let's just forget about the stock market for a second. Let's talk about something we all know. Imagine two little grocery shops right in your neighborhood. One is run by a guy named Rahul and the other by a guy named Ramesh.
Now, if you were to just walk by, these two shops look exactly the same. They're always busy, people coming and going, and you know what? They even make about the same amount of profit each year. So you'd probably think, hey, they're both doing great, right? Well, what's going on underneath tells a very different story.
To see what's really going on, we have to look under the hood. And we do that by looking at something called a balance sheet. Now, I know that sounds kind of intimidating, but trust me, it's not as scary as it seems. Let's just break it down together side by side.
Okay, here we go. A balance sheet really just has two sides. Super simple. On one side, you've got assets. Think of this as everything the business owns. So you can see right away, Rahul's got more cash just sitting in the bank than Ramesh. Then, on the other side, you have liabilities. And that's just everything the business owes to other people. And this is where you see the huge difference. Just look at how much more Ramesh owes to his suppliers and to the bank compared to Rahul.
So let's just pause here for a second. Take a good look at those numbers again. Forget about profits for a minute. Just ask yourself this one simple question. If things go wrong, a bad year hits, maybe a competitor opens up right across the street, which one of these guys is going to make it?
Yeah, it's pretty obvious, right? It's Rahul's shop. He's got that extra cash for emergencies, and he owes a lot less money. So, the bank isn't breathing down his neck every month. He's just under way less pressure. Ramesh, though, he's carrying a ton of stress on his shoulders.
And really, that's the whole point of a balance sheet. It's not just some boring list of numbers. It's like a stress test. It's a snapshot that tells you exactly how much pressure a business is under. It shows you how flexible it can be, and if it has what it takes to survive when things get tough.
And I bet you're thinking, wait, that's it? That balance sheet was actually pretty easy. And you're absolutely right. See? No crazy jargon, no complicated math. This is just the very first step. Sure, they can get more detailed, but the basic idea, it's always the same. And we'll figure out the rest together. So, when you boil it all down, a balance sheet is just trying to answer three simple questions for you. 1, what does the business own? Those are its assets. 2, what does it owe? Those are its liabilities. And 3, the most important one, how well can it handle trouble? Okay, so let's shift gears a bit. Let's bring this a little closer to home. Because this idea doesn't just apply to big companies. I want you to think about your own life, your own family finances, as a tiny little business. Because guess what? The exact same rules apply. So ask yourself, how am I running my family's business? Am I a Rahul with a bit of a safety net and not too much debt? Or am I more of a Ramesh, kind of living on the edge, always feeling that pressure? I seriously recommend you try this. Just grab a notebook, open a new note on your phone, whatever, and just list it out. What are my assets? My savings, maybe my car. What are my liabilities? My loans, that credit card bill, then your income and your expenses. Just seeing it all laid out like that, wow, it can be a real eye-opener. And once you have that picture in front of you, you can ask that big question. Do I have an umbrella ready for a storm? If something unexpected happens, a medical bill, a job loss, am I ready, or is it going to knock me off my feet? That financial strength, that's not just for companies. That's for our own peace of mind.
And hey, look, if you do this and you feel kind of stuck or even a little worried, that is perfectly okay. That's normal. The point isn't to have all the answers right now. It's just to start asking the right questions. And if you feel like you need a little guidance, please feel free to reach out.
All right, so we now know how to check if a business is strong, if it can handle a storm. But that's really only half the puzzle, which brings us to the next really big question. A business can be rock solid, right? Like Rahul's shop. But what's it actually worth? And maybe even more important, what price is a good price to pay for it?
That whole idea is called valuation, and that's exactly what we're going to talk about next time.
So as we close out today, I just want to leave you with this. When you actually see these things for yourself, when you do the work, that's when you get real clarity.
And that clarity is so important, because ultimately, this isn't about trying to hit some home run. It's about making sure you avoid the big mistakes. That's what really matters.
Look, the market is always going to be unpredictable. That's a fact. But what you can control is how much you understand. And the more you get these basics, the less confusing and scary it all feels.
And of course, just a quick reminder that everything we talked about today is purely for educational purposes. This is definitely not investment advice. Thanks so much for your time, and I can't wait to see you for the next part.